book reveals the novelty of our state's 19th century photography. How many times have you aimed your smartphone to capture a face, a meal, a repair project, a pleasing scene? Every year, humans worldwide are said to take more than 1 trillion photos. Many of them graze our consciousness for mere seconds. They are seemingly lifeblood, but also, strangely, a shrug. More's the pity. If we back up 1.5 centuries, we reach a time when the concept of a photo, let alone a physical print, was novel, even revolutionary, especially here in the rugged West. That photographic era in our state, the latter 50 years of the 19th century, captivates Tim Grayhavens, who recently published Artistic and Lifelike, Photography in Washington, 1850 to 1900. With more than 200 carefully reproduced photos, his 262-page tome documents how and why the earliest image makers toted heavy cameras, plates, and chemicals far and wide to mine for true-to-life pictures. Grayhavens, 76, from Seattle's West Woodland neighborhood, grew up in Portsmouth, Ohio. As a grade schooler, he often visited a local photo studio whose owner introduced him to his darkroom. "I was hooked as soon as I saw my first print develop in a tray of chemicals," he says. Reaching college, he wanted to be the next Ansel Adams. Life steered Grayhavens to a different career, directing the Wilberforce Foundation, a Ballard-based nonprofit that dispenses grants for conservation causes. But retirement prompted him to revisit and approximate childhood dreams. His encyclopedic chronicle of vintage images also profiles many of the state's 500 earliest photographers. They include Ida Bell Mitchell Smith, who in 1895 took over the Olympia studio of A.D. Rogers and likely learned the trade from him. She offered holiday portraits of all styles and grades with pastel and crayon enlargements. Grayhavens covers signature scenes, such as the 1860 Yesler House, considered Seattle's first photo, and the 1889 Great Seattle Fire, leavening them with substantive and obscure excursions to logging and railroad sites and the portraiture of Native Americans, including Chief Seattle and his daughter Kiki Soblu. Throughout, Grayhavens supplies researched context while cautioning readers not to make faulty assumptions, such as trusting the words scrawled on the backsides of prints. An overarching theme is the profound importance that Washingtonians placed on such a personalized art form. The real meanings of early photos emerge only by understanding the culture and society in which they were created, he writes. People soon recognized that having lifelike and easily accessible depictions of loved ones was more important to their happiness than almost anything words might contribute. In today's flood of taken-for-granted photos, dare we summon such deep appreciation? In our first then photo, this 1895 scene from Tim Grayhavens' book is of Ida B. Smith's studio in Olympia at 520 Main Street, today's Capitol Way. It reveals tools of the early photo trade, including a large view camera and tripod, real and painted curtains, angled skylight, circular sunscreen, and props. In the center could be Smith, as this woman resembles other known portraits of her. The Washington Standard newspaper called her a photographic artist and cited her excellent views of the interior of Olympia Theater. No such images have been found today. In our second then photo, an ad for Ida B. Smith's studio is from the December 2nd, 1898 Washington Standard. In our third then photo, from Grayhavens' book, James Offutt of Olympia with a bundle of hops, 1860 to 1870. Photographer unknown. In our fourth then photo, from Grayhavens' book, Chen Chong and His Wife in Seattle, 1866, photographer known only as Simons. In our fifth then photo, this 1891 print from Grayhavens' book, Photographer Unknown, shows a man, 3 boys, and 2 dogs posing on a temporary rail line against a backdrop of burned stumps, smoke, and buildings. Writing on the print's back identifies the scene as Kellytown, a short-lived 1880s development started by Norman R. Kelly near what is today Sedro-Woolley. And in our sixth and final then photo, from the first sentence of this January 18, 1867 ad in the Walla Walla Statesman for Shoup's photographic gallery, Tim Grayhavens took the title for his book. Today, across Capitol Way, from where Ida B. Smith's studio operated from 1895 to about 1909, Tim Grayhavens displays his new book, Artistic and Lifelike, Photography in Washington, 1850 to 1900. Gray Day Press, 2024. For more info, visit timgrayhavens.com. And don't miss his presentation to the Pacific Northwest Historians Guild on November 21st.